Well, listeners, welcome to the January edition of the 12-Minute Modelsphere. Happy New Year, Dave. Happy New Year, listeners.
Happy New Year, Mike. Happy New Year, listeners. And yeah, we're getting this out a day or maybe after we meant to do it. But then again, New Year's is kind of tough to get everything done on with all the other stuff going on.
Well, that's for sure. We're going to have a little spillover into what we tried to promise for December into January, but
yeah,
we'll get to that. Typically, we lead this off with where we've been and where we're going, and we haven't really been anywhere because of the holidays.
Right.
I feel it's fortunate for us, and maybe you do for you as well, but we're kind of in the stay-home years of our holiday enjoyment.
Yes. Well, I'm particularly lucky in that the vast majority of my family lives within 4 or 5 miles of my house. So we were over Christmas able to see pretty much my entire family, my brothers and sisters, their children, my mom. I'm very lucky in that regard. So yeah, the not having to travel more than a couple of miles to do all that, and the ability to spread it out from mid-afternoon on Christmas Eve all the way to the end of the day, Christmas night, it makes for a much more relaxed Christmas as opposed to when Ruthie and I were first married and first had kids, and we'd fly up to Baltimore, Maryland to go to Southern Maryland where Ruthie's family was. Man, you want to talk about doing airports at Christmas time? I do not miss that at all.
Well, the model show season is off to a rousing start, and
yes, it is.
I don't know if we'll get to any or not in January. We're trying to get to one.
I'd love to.
We'll remind folks that the two shows outlined in the December show spotlight for the month of January still have not happened yet at the time of this drop. So on January 10th and 11th, that's a half a day on the 10th and all day on the 11th, the Chattanooga Club will be hosting the Chattanooga Model Con. That's the one we're tempted to try to get down to.
Yes.
So if anybody sees us that weekend, that's where you would happen to see us. It just sounds like a good show we need to try to get to.
That facility, I mean, I have such fond memories of that facility, the Downtown Convention Center where they held the 2019 Nationals. That's just such a great facility to hold a show in that I have no doubt that that's just an awesome show to attend, and I'd love to squeeze down there.
And the other one is in College Station, Texas, Winter Blitz 25 or Winter Blitz 2025. Let me clear that up a little bit. Our friend Brandon Jacobs show down there, and that's a little later in the month, so you still got some time to plan on that one. So, folks, if you can, get out and enjoy an early season model show.
Yes, absolutely.
I said we have a little carryover from December, but we'll get to the main episodes, the feature episodes first. We've got 2 in January, Dave.
Yes, we do. 132 and 133.
Something a little different for a guest this time in episode 132. I hope, scheduling pending. These may get swapped, but we'll see how it goes. But that's the plan for now. Episode 132. We're going to be talking to listener Steve Anderson, and Steve has penned I'll read the title: a guided journal for modelers, making the most of your hobby. And what it is a book with quite a few, 50 or so questions to ponder and space to journal a little bit and provide some action steps going forward for your hobby. And then a little later in the book, it's got some project outlines and things like that. And this is kind of unique. And he mentioned this to us in a listener mail, and I said, well, won't you come on and talk about it? So we're going to talk about this. Now, I don't know how many listeners like to write, but I'm sure quite a few do, or even note-taking can be beneficial. So looking forward to seeing what this is all about.
Well, this has several things. I know there are a number of modelers who actually do keep notebooks on each of their projects. in addition to that, the other parts of this little booklet, it's more a booklet than a book, is kind of thought-provoking. You can sit down with it when you're not at your bench modeling, but wherever, grab a few minutes, read through and ponder on a section. I think it stimulates the modeling centers in the brain, and I'll be interested to talk with him about that.
Well, the other episode, 133, as planned today, will be another shop talk. So, Dave, we got to cook up some good questions and
yes,
or good topics, and I've been successful at that. So, I think that should not be a problem, given the amount of work we've been getting to at our benches here in the recent.
I was going to say I've got one or two kicking around already in my brain. So.
Well, the model show scene stays hot going on into February, and we'll have a model show spotlight sometime this month in January, and we'll know we're going to feature one show, maybe two. Trying to line that up so folks can tune in for news on other shows out there in the Modelsphere. And then finally in December, we actually, gosh, it's back in November. We hoped to have Dr. Strangebush on in December for a short on types and applying of primers. And we still intend to do that. And I got to get him scheduled and really hoping to drop that in January as well. So
yes, I think that would be a useful discussion. In fact, modeling friend Scott Skippy King came over on New Year's Day to have a modeling session and some black-eyed peas and cabbage. And he's at the stage where he's about to prime his current project. So we had a little bit of talk about that just between the two of us, and I'm really looking forward to Dr. Strangebush's words of wisdom on that subject.
So, folks, join us for all that, and hopefully we'll all learn something new. Dave, the dojo is pretty active over the holidays. What's been going down?
Yes, me accepted. Unfortunately, the dark time applies not only to me not getting the modeling I wanted done, but I was not on social media nearly as much. And so I didn't get into the dojo, but I'm going to cure that. But yes, thank gosh others were picking up the slack.
Like me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you were modeling because you had, almost 2 weeks off, 10 days?
10 days, counting the weekends.
And you actually got some modeling done, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, the dojo's very active. We're well over 5,000 members, racing toward 5,100, which is our next goal. So if you are a current member of the dojo and you're Facebook friends with other modelers, please go through your friends list and invite all the modelers to the dojo. The posts, particularly in December, tended to center around two things. One, we got a lot of people posting, this is what I finished in 2024. And those are always great. I love seeing that. Now I'm not as productive as a lot of people, but I love seeing the people, particularly the people who have modeled a great range of stuff, people who've gotten a lot finished. It just was really great. And then a lot of people are posting the projects that they're starting to get a running start into 2025. And man, there's some great modelers out there on the dojo. I could draw attention to a bunch of posts, but I want to draw attention to one that was just posted today by Joshua Scott. And he posted a Gundam. And if you want to see what Gundam modeling can be, exercising all of the not only building and painting, but the weathering and chipping, and it's just a really, really nice model. And I'd encourage everybody, when you listen to this episode, flip onto Facebook, go into the dojo and scroll back until you find Joshua Scott's post and take a look at that Gundam that he posted.
And I'd also like to remind the folks hosting shows in January to send us a photo essay of what showed up and share that with us. It'll help encourage folks to attend shows in their geographies and might help get folks to yours, and will certainly encourage us all.
And in addition, if you've got a show coming up in later January or early or all of February, and you have a show flyer, please post a PDF of that show flyer in the dojo. Let people know about your show. We got a lot of eyeballs in the dojo, and they are spread all over the US, in fact, all over the world. So if you've got a show coming up, go ahead, post your flyer in the dojo and, let people know it's happening.
Well, Dave, we probably wrap this up and get back to our benches for January.
Yeah, we're coming out of the dark time, man. We got to get a running start.
All right. Well, we'll see you around, man.
You got it.